Well, hello there. We're out on the deck of the old pool. I'm gonna have to drain some more of this green nasty stuff down. We had it all dried up. Figured I'd bring you the flowers on the tree. These are all three of these are apple trees. I'm guessing they produce different types of apples. Those two the same, this one different. It's just happened the other day. Last night when I came in, I told Sherry, I said, hey, come here and look. The tree's all red. Now it looks like they're turning like a pinkish purple. Again, I think the flower, the blossoms, right? Like those white trees I was showing you in those other videos. Did I bring you out to the pool just to talk about leaves on the tree? No, not exactly. But let me sit you here. Got this crazy camera, Richards. Yeah, the Blue Demon project, man. I think we're gonna have a lot of the same issues with Larry's cart as well, simply because, maybe let me turn this thing this way. Because of their age. Oh, there we go. That's much better. Yeah, because of their age, and actually, Larry's cart's in a lot worse condition than that Muncie cart we bought, right? It's from Indiana. So we'll have to see. I went shopping last night. The only thing I couldn't get was for the gold CRG brake that was on the cart. Even though I don't intend to use it now, I still wanted to rebuild it. You know, because we've gone 7/10, we may as well go 10/10 and finish the job. I had the cup seals coming for it. The only thing I couldn't find is the very small fiber washer that goes on. It's not a bleeder, but it's a bolt they use, a little tiny miniature bolt that they use. It's an Allen head, cap head bolt for bleeding the reservoirs behind the pistons in the calipers. Back, they use bleeders now. This system we're putting on is the Veno 4 system. It has a regular bleeder screw. The reason they don't do it that way now, or they didn't do it that way then, was, again, the master cylinder was a slave cylinder. It didn't have a reservoir, so it could only push the fluid that was in it. If in fact you had self-adjusting pads, you'd end up pumping the brakes and pushing air into the system, because the pads would move and stay, and then you'd go to push again, and the fluid wouldn't come back, and then you'd be pushing air. So what they did is, on the caliper, they put springs that pulled the pads back. So you were always pushing the same amount of fluid. Even no matter how much your pads wore down, the air gap between the pads and the rotor would just get bigger and bigger and bigger, which means your pedal would travel further, but you'd still never have to worry about the bleed on the brakes. So assuming they have spring return pads back then on a slave cylinder, you really didn't need a bleeder, because you weren't going to pump and hold and then bleed and let the pedal go down, because when you let go, she's going to push air, because it's a slave cylinder. So now they have bleeders. They have proper master cylinders with reservoirs in them. And why am I going on and on about all this? I spent $610 last night at Mondo. And like I said, the only thing I didn't get were those little fiber washers. I got all new front and rear brake pads, all new front and rear rotors. The rotor adapter, or what do they call it? The piece that goes from the hub to the rotor and has the little buttons that make it floating. That piece was a little beat up too, and I figured, you know what, it was only another 30 euros, or 30 bucks, 28 euros, 26 euro. You know, you're going this far, you may as well go the whole distance, right? So 610 bucks was more than I paid for the whole go-kart, but I did get a little CR80. I did get a pipe and a couple different silencers. I can probably without doing anything else with that engine other than putting it in a box, packing up the pipe and everything for it. The whole ignition's there, everything's there. I think I could get $500 for that thing. I think I could. And boom, we're right back. That pays for all these parts pretty much, right? So it all washes, I guess, in the end. If we're going to end up dumping the Yamaha cart, and we're going to sell the parts off because it's worth more than selling the whole complete cart and getting someone to buy it. Again, those things came with the vintage cart package, and I sold that go-kart for $3,500, folks. I paid $500 for it. I put a ton of work into it. We made new spindles for it. We rebuilt the seat tubing and made it so it would slip in and out, and when the cart flexed, it would rotate and move instead of breaking the frame and the seat back over and over and over again. We updated that go-kart. Put all new wheels on it, new tires, new brake pads, new rotors, new everything on that cart as well. Sold it with 2 engines, all the gearing, a Missy S4 pipe. That was a fair price, I think, for what Jerry paid for it, and he was relatively competitive with that go-kart first year or two he ran it. He's since sold it, but so we've got stuff that came with that package that it's free and clear now, we can sell, and that puts us back in the green, you know, or back in the black. We get out of the red with this whole thing. So it wasn't all that tough for me to pull the trigger on $600 worth of new parts for this thing, because I have a feeling if the RVS is going to go on this cart, the dirt bike motor will go on Larry's, even though it's got bigger, bulkier brakes. This is probably going to be my go-kart, my cart to drive, and the other one will be for Richard and Kenny to drive, or one of my friends to drive, or whatever. Todd Stouffer, you could drive anytime you come up and you got a water pump that's peeing water, or your brakes aren't working or something. We can go down the list, the last 5 trips you've made over. We'll have a go-kart for you to drive, so you won't have to pack up and go home right away. But so that's it. Just wanted to show you the pretty leaves, buds on the trees, the flowers of our apple trees. Really looking forward to, you know, we still haven't been here a full year, so we're still experiencing new things. The fall, the winter, the spring. These are all things, you know, the water coming way up and stuff. We hadn't experienced that before. It's all new. So we know the apples started falling off that particular tree long before they started falling off this other one. And I'm guessing, in God's infinite wisdom, that when the apples fall off the tree, they're good to go. So instead of scooping them up and piling them up over here for the animals to eat, that's right, Big Daddy's going to start making apple pie, apple crisp, apple surprise, apple strudel. Don't be surprised if I start pawning packages of apples off on all you. But that's it. Just wanted to touch base, and we got everything we need coming. New fuel tank for this cart, everything we need. So really at this point, until parts get here,